Hey guys, and welcome to another speed build. Happy Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. I've lost track of the days. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another speed build. We are still on that Glimmerbrook hype. So today we are doing a slightly more evil. Or no, we're not going to call it evil. We're just going to call it dark. I'm imagining that maybe the dark arts are practiced in this here abode. Something a little bit different for me to build. I don't normally do dark and gloomy on the outside, do I? No, not really. So it was fun. Basically, my color palette for this was black. And if you've excuse me, listened to my ramblings on many other videos, I've a few times mentioned that I want to do an all black house. So I think this is about as close to an all black house as I've got. Really, for me to do like an all black room or something, if you were doing it in real life, you'd have, I don't know, different textures to a room. Or you'd have like different gloss levels so that it didn't all look flat, because in the game, if you just use all black, it kind of just looks a little bit flat. So I've tried to do my best I can. I have used a little bit of colour in this build as well, not just black, but yeah, I'm super duper happy with it. You'll see me doing this. I did a few kind of tests. Sometimes now I do tests to see how I want to do the windows and like the surroundings. I used an reference image for this house. It looks nothing, let me repeat, nothing like the finished thing. It was like all cute and lovely. I think I ended up just using it for the shape of the house as inspiration, and maybe where windows are located. I even did completely different windows to what was in the reference material. So I just used it for the shape of it. That was about it. I thought, what could fit on a 30 by 20? And I saw this reference. I was like, yeah, that could fit. But in this build, I'm literally using the Get Famous windows and Felix Sanders Art Deco windows. The Art Deco set was released several months ago, and I haven't got to use it since it was released, and I was really excited. They look really, really cute. That big window there is in the Art Deco, and so is the door, and they have a stained glass in there, which I think is just so cute. It really is divine. And I just built the house kind of round those windows. I was going to use peacemakers, so if you don't have those windows, you can alternative would be to use peacemakers windows in this. Here's vampire add-ons. That's what I was actually going to use in this build, and then I saw that Art Deco window and I was like, no, this can look Victorian. Let's just plop that one in. So yeah, I'm happy I finally got to use it. I also got to use a lot more of the Art Deco objects in this as well. So the interior is slightly eclectic. We love a good eclectic build, don't we, here on the channel? So yeah, we're going slightly more eclectic with the interior. Very dark, moody. I'm in love with it. Of course, for you to go dark and moody in real life, you'd need like a really well lit house. You're gonna be like south facing, all that stuff for it to work. But we managed to do it in this one okay. In the inside, you can just put more lights in, it looks fine. Just gonna point out the roofing here was an absolute pain in my butt. The roofing is like, I've been doing all this Victorian roofing, you guys have been going, oh, I wanted to know how to do this roofing. This roofing is half hipped roofs with the curve added on, and then I piece it around, and then I put a roof in the middle. And you'll also see that I used like the standard freezes to fill the gap, because there's actually a half tile gap between the room and the middle of the roof. And I was like, please, dear God, let me just place a freeze and let it fill the gap, and it did. And I think I did a little dance in my chair as it filled the gap. So yeah, I'm happy with the roofing, how it turned out. Also, can I just say, I don't know, I haven't really tried to do extreme roofs maybe recently, But that roof gave me absolute heart attack because I wanted it to be more bulging out at the top. I wanted the curve to be way more extreme than it is. And it just wasn't possible. I was like what are these controls? I swear it wasn't like this before. I almost felt like I could get more extreme shapes with not adding the advanced kind of curve features on, which is just, I don't know what was going on, but I didn't like it. So yeah, I'm just a little bit puzzled about the roof controls at the moment. So I know actually Aiden Devon Bumpkin said this a while ago, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I agree, but I think I agree now. It was just, yeah, it was a pain, to say the least. But anyway, we're here doing the back of the house, putting on all these windows. We're just trying to work out something that looks cute, you know. I think this one, yep, I do the same treatment as the stained glass one, but I just do regular windows here. This house ends up having 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They're all actually en suite. There's no just regular bathroom by itself. And it has this really, well, it's kind of a bit of a breathtaking cauldron room, because I said this is, you know, we're still in Glimmerbrook. This is definitely for a spellcaster. And yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to it. But the outside, I've used these, I was just trying to work out what trims I could use for the outside of the build to add a little bit of detail. This is much more detailed than the reference picture I had. The reference picture I had didn't have any of these corner details, but I really needed that to kind of bring everything together. Otherwise it looked a little bit too simple. And of course, all of Felix's trims are not in black. These ones, I think they were released at a similar time, so they all have marble, and one of the options is black marble. So add that in. And this brick as well, I've changed the brick, you'll see there, to this brick came with Get Famous, and I say this about lots of bricks every time. I'm pretty sure last video I said I'm obsessed with the new brick. I swapped out the new brick for this older Get Famous brick, because now I'm obsessed with it. It's like I have a new obsession every build, and my latest obsession in this build is that brick. I think it's divine, and I'm gonna try and use it as much as possible. There we go. But we started the landscaping here. I definitely want this to look like, maybe it could have been once a nice and manicured garden, but it's since gone into a bit of disrepair, and it's kind of a little bit dead rather than overgrown, just more like dead. And yeah, weeds, but yeah, there's lots of brambles. I use the brambles also on the side of the building. Have I done that bit yet? I think I have done most of it yet. Yes, I have. I've done the brambles on the side of the house. I don't think I've ever used those brambles. I combined it with a kind of very sparse, half dead looking ivy as well. So those kind of merged well together. And then I was trying to find as many dead looking plants for the outside. And for that, definitely the vampire, not expansion pack, game pack came in very, very useful. Most of the landscaping, the dead trees there, the bushes, they're all from vampires. I used a lot of the vampire pack in this, but I wanted to make sure the house didn't look like a vampire should live there. So yeah, there is no graveyard. I think the most vampire-ish thing in this build would be the werewolf that's on the front of the build. I did take away a window and put that werewolf in instead. I'm actually quite happy I took away that window, because that ends up being a bathroom behind there, and there would be too many windows and I wouldn't be able to put stuff where I wanted it if I'd left that window in. So it worked out perfectly. But yeah, so vampire pack, if you're going to be using this build, you're definitely going to need the vampire pack. As always, for all of my CC builds, there is a link in the description that has a link to my Tumblr and the Tumblr post that I have listed all of the CC that was included in this build. I linked to all the creators in all of my CC builds. I do like to give credit where credit is due. I think in this build, actually I know in this build, I've only used my CC and I've used Felix Ander CC, so just those two. And yeah, so I've credited myself and Felix. Wow, that was very generous of me. Oh, I'm only joking. So yeah, no matter who I use, I always credit them in my builds. And I've done quite a few in this garden. I've done quite a few debug plants as well, searching through those, and those rocks are in debug. I do wish there was a way of categorizing debug a little bit better. I know it would be an absolute headache for someone and how many hours it would take them to categorize it, but I wish like all rocks just said rock. Like if I could just search rock and it brought up all the rocks, that would be great. Or if I just searched plant and all the plants came up, that would also be great. All the other stuff, I feel like I could have that uncategorized, but just those two, I would love to be categorized so I can find them easily, because there's so many amazing plants in the whole, what was it, live edit objects cheat thing. Yeah, there's so many cool objects in there, plants that I would like to use that I don't use because they just take forever to find, which is such a shame because they're there and I'm just like, I want them. Also, I found a lot of the objects in that category seem to say they're base game when they actually came with a different pack. For example, lots of the vampire things say that they're base game and vice versa, and like the Get Famous modern statues, I remember them being liberated by Brazen Lotus when Get Famous came out. I had them. I used them in a build, what was it, Cypress Terrace has them in, and then they're just categorized as base game, so I'm dab. I know they weren't in base game, so I'm just wondering about the categorization and all that stuff. Yeah, how am I still doing the exterior here? I kept in my little detailing of this porch here, and I used that came with vampires as well, this like 3 candle set on a kind of stand in a cage thing. I used that, and I don't think I've ever used that before, believe it or not. This is how rare it is for me to do a kind of dark, moody build like this. I do dark interiors sometimes, but never this is a whole mood, if you get what I mean. I wanted to do a reef there, but I thought they were all a bit too inviting and cheery because it is meant to be maybe someone that's a little bit more private in this build, considering they're in the dark arts. I don't think they normally invite people into their homes, you know, and be all friendly and stuff. I don't think it's a normal thing. But anyway, moving on to the interior, I didn't really have a theme for the interior. I did start off with the spooky day flooring, and then I remember we have this Get Famous one and I love it. It's my favorite wood floor of all time ever, CC or in-game otherwise. This Get Famous floor is just divine. I hope you can't hear this. It's just decided to have a torrential downpour, so yeah, but I love the floor and I just needed to use it, so I changed everything to be this floor on the interior, and that kind of elevated it to be slightly more sophisticated and less rustic than the spooky day floors would suggest. So we went slightly posh with the Rococo walls. Yeah, that was a thing. We went all out. We just did paneling all over the place. I really, really love paneling in a house, and it's Victorian, and I feel like I can do paneling. So that's what I did. Love the whole. This is one of my favorite. I said it's more eclectic. It has definitely got some modern pieces in there, with traditional pieces, which I read that is my favorite way of furnishing, or like completely modern with just traditional wallpapers and like full fixtures and things like that. But this one we mixed traditional with modern pieces, and I am here for it. And I never get to play in the game anymore because I'm building, but if I did, I would play in this house. Yeah, so this is as close, I think, with the current custom content I have or current in-game content that I can get to being an all black interior. I definitely do like the pops of red. I have to say that the red we have with vampires is very, I think it's normally quite bright, but here the curtains, I think I've done, actually they only showed red for a second, but the red on the sofa is, well, the sofa's by Felixander, and the red in his palette, in his Georgian palette, that's the same one, is just, there's just something about that red, it just works no matter what style interior I try to do, and I just loved it for this sofa. But in-game red is a little bit too bright, and it just seems a bit like comic-y, black and red when you use it. But with that one, it's kind of, I'm going to use the word sumptuous. It's very, it's just inviting. So I use that as an accent throughout the house, but predominantly all of the wallpapers are black, apart from in the master bedroom where I do go with like a dark, am I going to call it a teal? No, it's not a teal, is it? No, it is. It's a dark teal in the bedroom. Also, the flower arrangements here on the table, revelation from Seasons. I think I discovered them during my last build, and I was like, they come in this color swatch, black and red flowers. I was like, this is perfect for this build. So yeah, I managed to use it. The vampire, this here lamp, the vampire lamp, I love the whole tassel thing. I think they did this piece. Vampires as a game pack, I highly recommend it. Even if you don't like vampires, I wish there was a way you could turn vampires off without having to use mods. I would have liked it if they patched that in, like, you know, the ability to just disable them if you don't want them, because I personally don't need Vlad coming and biting my Sim's neck every time I start a new game, because I don't really play with vampires in my game. But yeah, the items that came with vampires, I just 10 out of 10 recommend. I think that it was so well done, and they were definitely firing on all cylinders when they created the vampire pack, which I've got to say, looking back and kind of evaluating maybe the vampires pack against Realm of Magic, the vampire pack would win for me, like hands down. And this is based purely, I suppose, on what I've heard about gameplay, and also because I haven't done any gameplay really I've done a bit of vampire gameplay, but that's not what I focus on. But mostly the build items. These vampire ones, I could use them in multiple different types of interiors. Like for here, it's kind of eclectic, and I can use these traditional lamps and everything. But I just feel with the Realm of Magic items, they're not very versatile. I don't see myself using them even really in eclectic builds, to be quite honest. There's just something about them that just doesn't quite sit well. I suppose in vampires, they didn't really go with a vampire theme. I'm putting this in air quotes, by the way, you can't see this. They kind of didn't go with a vampire theme, if you get what I mean. They went with a Victorian theme. Whereas I feel with the Realm of Magic stuff, they went Art Nouveau, yeah, but they kind of went with a magic theme. So they're slightly, well, not slightly less, they're less versatile because of that. But, you know, if you're in Glimmerbrook, you're probably going to be using that pack a lot. You're going to be using that furniture probably a lot. So all depends how you play your game. I just give my opinion, and it doesn't really need to match up with yours, to be quite honest. It's just a different one to give to you. But anyway, in the interior, we've done the living room, we've done the dining room, and which is there, and we've done there's a little kind of library reading nook. And now we're onto the kitchen, or should I say the kitchen. Someone did leave a comment. I used the kitchen plants in my last build, and I said, yeah, kitchen, no tea. And that is because I will explain the whole story behind the kitchen, and why it has no tea is because I was in Twitch and I was bugging Felix because I really wanted a kitchen. I think we all want kitchens. So I was basically doing my civic duty to bug him and request a kitchen for us all. Yeah, okay, you're welcome. And I was typing in all caps down the chat in Twitch, and I wanted it to run down and say kitchen in all caps in a long line, and I failed, and I didn't put the letter T in. And then everyone took the mick. Yep, as they do. That's what all good friends should do, is take the mick out of you. And so it became a thing where everyone was like kitchen. So that was it. And when we were going to do a collab, we were like, let's call it the kitchen, because it's kind of like bringing it back full circle. Who would have thought when I was bugging him that it would end up that we would collab on a kitchen? And that would be the kitchen that I get. The one I was bugging him for, it took a year to come into fruition, and it was a collaboration. So yeah, but I've used the counters in here. I've used also the appliances and everything in here from that collection, and I also thought I'd use it in here because we have a good mix of modern and traditional in this house, and I think it sits in here really, really well. This is like this darkest wood tone. It's kind of a new wood tone he's been using, which combines black and the darkest brown. I really like it. I was going to go like just black counters in here, but again, if you just use black, it looks kind of a little bit flat. So yeah, I was trying to use the tiles that came with what was it, Realm of Magic, but I just prefer the Art Deco paneling. I'm sorry. And I managed to use the lights from the kitchen as well. And my favorite thing to do is to put those lights from Strangerville up on the wall underneath the cabinets. I just like under cabinet lighting. So sue me, okay? But here we are on, I think this is one of my favorite rooms in this build. I don't know how really functional this is because I still haven't played with it, so I don't know if you can actually have a cauldron indoors and it not be a fire hazard. Do you know what I never put in my builds? Smoke detectors. So just PSA, put smoke detectors in my builds if you're moving your Sims in and they don't have high cooking skill, because I never do that. Yeah, that's, oh God. I just realised something I never do. Yep, never do that. Also, oh God, didn't put an outside bin in this. I did remember a mailbox though, so you're welcome. So yeah, don't know how practical this is. You know, if you don't have a spellcaster sim, maybe you could just make mac and cheese in here. But I put as many candles as possible, and also it's cool because it's not too bright, because not all of them are lit, because these candles that I'm sizing up here and putting around are just decor. They don't have any flames on them, so that was kind of good, and I just chucked in as many candles as possible in here and just made it like magical, I suppose. And of course we've got that spell book there so that you know exactly what ingredients you need to put into your cauldron. Oh, talking of magical builds, I've definitely had an increased number of you guys asking for the practical magic house, and there is a bit of history with that, whereas I started it on Twitch and never finished it. And someone actually left a comment and I said, no, I don't need to do it. Someone else has done it before and it was really good and it was CC free and it was la la la. And like, yeah, but now we've got configurable stairs, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, do you know what? I agree with you. So I'm most definitely going to be doing the practical magic house at some point. I don't know if I have an idea for the magic HQ, so I don't know if the practical magic house will come before that or after it. I will be releasing Glimmerbrook as a save file. I think I've said this in the last couple of videos. I'll be releasing it as a save file, and I'll also have some of my other builds in other worlds in that save file as well. So that will be like a whole Tumblr post for that, to list all the different sets you need from different creators. Just a heads up, if you want to prepare your body for such a release, definitely going to need, it's going to include Felixander, of course. It's going to include my CC. It's going to include Brazen Lotus, because I use the it's only going to require the greenhouse set from Brazen Lotus, and it's going to include basically all of Peacemaker. So prepare your bodies, get Peacemaker, all that stuff, and you'll be set and ready to go for that save file release. The last build in Glimmerbrook itself, I have started it. I haven't finished the interior. I'm going to finish the interior soon, but I wanted to hold back on releasing that until the kitchen is out on public release. As you know, at the moment, the kitchen is out on early access on Patreon, patreon.com/Felixander, and it's going to be released on the 3rd of October for public release. So yeah, when that is released, there's going to be an extra wallpaper in there, because I created an extra wallpaper because I wanted it for the other build in this world. So I'm just holding off releasing that until all of the CC is actually available for you, because I don't want to tempt you with a build what you can't use to its fullest because you haven't got that wallpaper, and I've used it on the entire interior, so you really do need that wallpaper. So yeah, that'll wait till then. I think after I've recorded this voiceover, I'm going to look back at my practical magic house floor plans. I have a hidden board. It's been hidden for ages, but I have a hidden board with all the floor plans for that house. And I'm going to look for some ideas for the Magic HQ, so I don't know which one of those is going to come first. Also, I have something in mind that I want to do for Sulani, which we're going to go back to Sulani again. And also, I'm a bit of a party pooper when it comes to kind of seasonal builds. Like, loads of people, as soon as it's, one yellow or red leaf appears on the outside, people are doing autumnal themed builds, and I don't. I also don't really do Christmas builds. I think I've done one because it was a Christmas present. But I don't normally do themed builds throughout the year to celebrate different parts of the year. And I think I really want to do an autumnal build this year. I have no idea what an autumnal build is, but I want to do one. So if you have any suggestions of an autumnal themed build, let me know. Oh my God, the pop-up just appeared on my screen. Go away. Remind me later, Stream Deck. So yeah, if anyone has any suggestions for that, feel free to leave them. I don't know what says autumnal, apart from going into seasons and changing the look of it to be autumn in the game. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, and also maybe I should do like a CC free build just to spice things up in there. As always, if you've got any build suggestions, feel free to put them in the description box, the comment section down below, or send me a message on Twitter, tweet me, message me on Tumblr, Twitter, I'm more active on Instagram now. You'll be happy. I'm doing sneak peeks up on there and everything. Before I just had an Instagram and it just sat there, but now I'm actually updating it and I'm regularly on there, which I've never been an Instagram kind of person, but it's slowly, it's only taken me, I don't know however long since Instagram was a thing for me to adopt it, but yeah. So let's talk back about the build. This is the master bathroom. I just want to point out that sink there that came with vampires. I can't sing vampires' praises enough, to be quite honest, and I think maybe the realm of magic has made me appreciate the vampire pack even more. They got it so good. So yeah, it's just that sink is divine. Like, it's got the perfect gold on it as well. Oh, but anyway, we're doing the master bedroom. As I said, the master bedroom has the dark teal on the wall, all kind of moody. Has like an extra little walk-in kind of dressing room, which is just a 2x2 square. This bathroom as well, I do like the way the black combines with the dark red. That red that is in the Heritage Collection as well is the same as Felix's Georgian set. I used his colour palette to recolor all that stuff, so it matches perfectly as well, and I'm just... This bed here is from my Heritage Collection, and it's all black, and I just... I'm happy that the bed frame is not in black, because actually that would have made it a bit flatter and not so, I don't know, not so inviting. But yeah, lots of black in this room, again, because everything in this house is black. But I still think it's, I don't know, I just think the black makes it look super chic rather than, it's not, well, let's say they're just dark magic, but they've got really good interior design taste. That's all I'd say. And lots of money, obviously. I think maybe this was 300 and something thousand. I don't know. Let me know if you actually play in any of these builds that I build with no budget in mind, and move your families in there legitimately, or if you cheat to buy it. I'm just interested. I've only ever used one of my builds that has Felix and CC in it, because it's very expensive CC in game, you know, to use the items. So I think I've only had a family in there once. They only had enough money to live in there once, but I'm sure you're much better at the game than me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We're going into screenshots, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye guys.